Everyone has been excited and focused on a certain Ethereum upgrade recently, which went live today. Although another crypto so important to the ETH ecosystem is having a big event too. And that event starts today. So you ready to get stinky with my linky? Well, it's about to reek for 10 minutes or so because it's time for chicocrypto. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of that stinky link. It's a major part of my crypto portfolio and for good reason. In the month of July alone, Chainlink set a record 62 integrations or crypto projects utilizing the Chainlink network of Oracle nodes. Now you guys should know that Chainlink has competitors out there. There have been many Oracle-based projects which have popped up over the past couple of years. I wonder if they have close to the amount of integrations that Chainlink has. Well, no. As you can see, Chainlink is off the charts. Over 679 dApps protocols and crypto projects which have integrated Chainlink. The next closest is Band, which only has about 67 integrations. Actually, if you took all the competitors, including Band, and added their integrations all together, they wouldn't beat Chainlink. Chainlink still has 40% more. Obviously, Chainlink is the best, or this wouldn't be the case. Chainlink's network of oracles is the most time-tested, secure, and efficient way to provide data to these dApps and projects. And the projects that don't use Chainlink usually suffer. BZX, February of 2020, exploited. Within a month, by March, they announced they are using Chainlink oracles, and they haven't been exploited since. Same goes with Value DeFi. They were using their own centralized oracles, got hacked for 6 million, and then they turned to Chainlink to stop any more damage, which has held true since they integrated. And then in January of this year, Warp Finance got exploited for 8 million. They also turned to Chainlink to stop flash loan attacks, which has proven to be a solution to their problem. Well, Walt Finance was just exploited a few days ago too, similar to Warp in a flash loan attack. What do you think is going to be announced soon? Walt will be implementing Chainlink oracles and price feeds. Just wait, it's going to happen. It's not only small dApps and protocols implementing Chainlink for security, but some of the most hype scaling solutions for Ethereum are too. The LinkHound on Twitter, @link_hound, posted this a few days ago. This is cool. I know the Chainlink community have been waiting for this one. Chainlink data feeds are unequivocally up and running and live on Optimism PBC. And there are 4 feeds live, but it's not only for Optimism's rollup. Also, the Arbitrum rollup. The LinkHound also tweeted this in the middle of July. Have fun, everyone. Chainlink, you are amazing. Arbitrum Bridge, Arbitrum Inbox, Arbitrum L1 Gateway Router, and they show a token address which is interacting with all of this. It's the Chainlink token on Arbitrum. So what does this all mean? Well, Chainlink God below explains it. He said, this looks like the Arbitrum token bridge now supports a Link token, so it can be used to pay for Chainlink Oracle services like price feeds, VRF, proof of reserve, keepers, any API, etc. natively on the Arbitrum 1 network. So now that we get the importance of Chainlink to decentralized ecosystems across the board, it's time to talk about Chainlink's big event. That begins today. Chainlink is having its Smart Contract Summit #1. Yeah, this is the first one in its history where they're bringing together industry heavyweights to talk about smart contracts, NFTs, DeFi, and of course that stinky link. Many heavyweights including the Flan Man himself, Sergey, but also Ari Jules, Stanny of Avi, Robert Leshner of Compound, Kane of Synthetics, Sheila Warren of the World Economic Forum, Ed Felton of Offchain, the creators of Arbitrum, John Wolpert of Consensus and the Baseline Protocol, and the list goes on and on. Over 200 speakers are going to be talking at Chainlink's first SmartCon. They are obviously going all out for this, but the main dude, Sergey Nazarov, is speaking on each of the days, today, tomorrow, and on Saturday. And I have a feeling he is going to be speaking on something very special and anticipated by the entire Chainlink community and beyond. What is that? Well, it's Chainlink staking. And why do I think he's going to be speaking on it? Well, just last week, July 27th, Chainlink released a blog titled Explicit Staking in Chainlink 2.0, an overview. In the blog, they gave a thorough overview of explicit staking in Chainlink, one of the more thorough overviews since the release of the Chainlink 2.0 white paper back in April. They dove into service agreements, the two-tiered Oracle networks that will be created, including the crypto economic security of the second-tier networks via user voting, and even how this works in a simple picture, where they're using T-Systems, aka T-Mobile's Chainlink node as an example. Now, why would Chainlink do this? Release a thorough blog post on staking right before SmartCon, unless they were going to be talking about it at SmartCon. So the question is, are they going to announce Chainlink staking is ready at SmartCon? Will Sergey drop the bomb? Well, sorry to burst your Link bubble, most likely not. They are going to talk about it, but it's not going to be ready. Remember, going back to the blog they released, service agreements are a major piece of staking. And there is a Chainlink development tracker on Pivotal Tracker, which shows what, when, and how the protocol is being worked on. I've included a link for it down in the description if you're interested in tracking Link. But in the Pivotal Tracker, we can search by service agreement and click on that to view all tasks or stories. As we can see, 19 stories for this service agreement have been completed. They are in the green. Although there are 25 in the blue, aka in the icebox, which means they still need to be completed and they're not scheduled. Although not all stories are going to be needed to be completed, some stories or tasks get thrown out the window. So based on this information, staking won't be ready by SmartCon, but I still have a feeling they're going to be dropping some bombs regarding it. That blog release last week tells me they are. Although if you want to get prepared for Chainlink staking in a certain way, there is an option with the #1 Chainlink service provider, LinkPool, and the founder and CEO, Johnny Huxtable, will also be speaking at SmartCon. And in the Chainlink staking blog, they even mention one of the products that LinkPool has created. They mention Chainlink Markets, and below even show LinkPool's data feeds and their nodes. Obviously, LinkPool is an integral piece of Chainlink's ecosystem. They have been working right alongside Chainlink the longest, and their Chainlink nodes are some of the most utilized throughout the ecosystem. So now let's talk about LinkPool staking and how this can prepare you for Chainlink staking. Going to their staking dashboard, you can see the APR for staking LPL. It's tiny compared to other rates in the space, just above 1.5%, although that is paid in Link tokens. Now, why would you want to buy and stake LPL if the rewards are that low? What's the benefit? Well, as you can see, there is a LinkPool allowance token you also receive for staking. This is a token that will be required for staking with LinkPool when Chainlink staking does go live. In theory, you will be allowed to stake Link at a rate of 0.4 Link per LPLA. As LinkPool gets more business, the allowance will likely increase. If it goes up enough, you can lend out your LPL allowance rights to other Link holders to earn a percentage of their interest. This is a requirement token. And the big reason to hold this token and stake it isn't for the rewards right now, but to have the inside track on staking with LinkPool when Chainlink staking eventually goes live. Because they are the leader and biggest insider working hand in hand with Chainlink. Being a strong holder of LPLA will allow you to have a giant head start against the others. So this is about the prospect of big future returns rather than returns right now.
All good things to those who wait.
So I'm hoping mainnet staking for Chainlink is released by the end of the year, and I hope at SmartCon they announce that this is the case. Will it happen is a question only the Chainlink team can answer, and probably only Sergey. Although there is another project I'm a big fan of in my top coins, which will definitely have mainnet staking by the end of the year, and that is the Energy Web chain. They tweeted 2 days ago that staking was live on their Volta testnet, and the same day they said, in case you missed it, staking on our Volta testnet, ahead of coming to the main EW chain. Yes, it's coming to the main chain shortly after the test on the testnet, and CEO Jesse Morris explains the implications better than I can. He tweeted about it being live on Volta too, but he also said, "This will be one of the first staking models I've seen with a connection to real-world cash flows and business value." Yeah, this will be one of the most interesting and game-changing staking models. So get yourself ready for it by testing it out on Volta. And I've actually included in the description a tutorial on how to do it from coming blockchain leaks journalist HSV Porky. So, my friends, get your stake on before it's live. Do it with LinkPool for Chainlink and do it on the testnet Volta with EWT. Cheers. I'll see you next time.